What's up, guys? So we're back again here with Seduce Me the Otome. Oh man, I keep going with this game. I don't know why, but it's just intriguing and awesome. And let's get this going. Here we go. I'm not gonna talk too much. If you watched this video, got in the fight with Malx and we survived. So it was over. Malx was gone, and the boys were finally safe. A wave of relief through my body at the thought of never having to deal with that group again. At the same time, a pang of realization hit the back of my mind. The boys were only going to stay until after Malx was defeated. That was our deal. As we approached home, I could feel something heavy weighing down my heart. It was late, but the boys let me inside and turned on the lights in the lobby.
Finally, we can relax.
It will be good to have some rest without devils breathing down our necks.
I'm just tired. Can I hit the hay early?
I think some sleep would be good for all of us.
I looked at Damien, knowing he could read my mind, and frowned. I didn't want him to know about my thoughts to the situation. Yeah, bed sounds good. I wanted to just end tonight. Too much had happened, and I felt dizzy just trying to figure it out. However, Damien spoke up, stopping all of us from moving.
Should we be gone in the morning?
The air became still with tension. The realization of the situation hit the boys like a wave, forcing them to turn to me in curiosity. They had remembered their deal, and they were now waiting me to decide their fate. However, I knew my answer. Couldn't mind them here. I knew I couldn't. Couldn't keep them here. I knew I couldn't. They were demons and I was human. I needed to deal with my own life beyond anything else. If the boys stayed, my life would only become more complicated. I think that would be best. James nodded in agreement, keeping professional tone in his voice. He replied to me.
Then we will be gone before you wake, miss. Thank you for letting us stay here as long as we did.
This is so weird. I don't know what's going on. I could feel the upset emotions of the incubi reverberate in the room, but I couldn't change my mind. I had too much going on in my life to let them stay, no matter how much I wanted them to.
It was a pleasure to have served you, beautiful lady.
It was hard watching each boy turn away from me for the last time. I stood there waiting for them all to leave the lobby.
I guess this is goodbye. Yeah. Have a good one.
I stuck to my guns. I knew I was making the right choice.
Thank you for having us, miss. Maybe we'll see each other again.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Goodbye.
As Damien left my side, I finally let the air that I was denying into my body inside. My life would return to normal, well, as normal as it could be. However, I was smarter and wiser than before. I knew the things beyond humanity now. It had come to learn about the boys and about the existence of the supernatural. I wasn't blind to what was beyond human life. Learning of this made me more open-minded. I nodded to myself before heading into my room, closed the door, and mentally allowing the reality of the situation sink in. Tomorrow I had school. No devils to kidnap me, no incubi to wake up with. I went to bed that night, accepting and not regretting anything. Oh, crud. Or so I had hoped.
You are an interesting creature.
Who is this? Oh, whoa, hi. I opened my eyes to see a woman staring down at me with a sly smirk on her face. I opened my mouth to scream in fright, but I quickly covered my mouth.
No screaming now. Too early, silly girl.
I don't like that music. I could only stare at the woman above me. I still felt weak, not having the strength to move or fight her off. She was very beautiful, but I felt more anger than amazement. Oh, jeez, I know what's going on. I don't want to keep reading. I felt more anger than amazement. Oh, jeez.
Why do the boys like you? You're unique, yes, but that can't be all that you have going for you.
Oh. Rage began to consume my core again. This woman, whoever she is, was making me mad. She must have known, as she let another smirk grow on her face.
Ooh, you're feisty. that could be why.
Oh, man. Before I could bite her hand in anger, she removed her hand from my lip, standing up and staring down at me from a place next to my bed. I quickly sat up and cleared daggers at the intruder. Who are you and why are you in my room? The woman began to laugh, she making the rage inside me increase. I wanted to punch her, but I waited for her answer.
How silly of me. I forgot that we demons are not well known of in your world. You can call me Diana, little human.
Ah, demon, man. Didn't I get rid of all you? Diana? Demon? You're a demon?
I am, but I'm much more than just an average demon.
Oh, what more of this crap is there? I'm so confused. What do you mean?
Silly girl. I'm a succubus.
Interesting. I stared at Dana shock. A succubus. First incubi, now succubus. Great. Now I have met both genders. Indeed. Oh, I knew that was gonna happen. I'm losing. Guys, I'm losing it. This is just. I'm officially lost it. It's whoosh gone. It's gone. Just gone. Diana crossed her arms under her bosom and looked at my body.
Well, you are pretty, but you seem very reckless. Too reckless.
I moved out and stood from the bed, still glaring at Diana. Why are you here?
Well, I came here to clean up what the boys clearly forgot to clean. Men. So sloppy.
What do you mean by that?
I mean erasing your memories, sweetie.
This woman wasn't serious, was she? She comes in my room and spouts this? This was ridiculous. I began to walk towards my door, wanting to leave the room. The boys could get rid of her. I had no mind about dealing with her myself.
The boys are gone, sweetie.
I froze in place. What? They're gone already? No way. I turned to Diana, glaring hard as she kept a smirk to me. You're lying.
Am I? If you want to go see for yourself, you can. But I promise you'll be wasting your time.
I stared, trying to find any hint that she was lying. She had to be. The boys wouldn't just up and leave without resting first, right? Diana crossed her arms and waited for me to make a choice. I decided to believe her for now. I'd find some hint in this conversation. What do you mean, take my memories?
Well, we demons can't have just anyone knowing about us. You have to completely devote your soul to learning about us. And even then, it's not always guaranteed that you can be granted knowledge of us.
What makes me not deserve to know everything? I was attacked by devils. I found the boys in my house, wounded and sheltered them. I think I deserve to remember those memories. Diana let out a laugh, running a hand through her hair before looking back at me, amused.
You were attacked by a gang and were almost killed. You found 5 homeless men and let them stay in your home. There's nothing special about either of these instances.
Yes, there was.
A human like you can't understand the rules. The boys themselves aren't even aware of the rules. They'll learn soon enough.
Diana flipped her hair before looking at me with a stern look.
Listen, sweetie. You're not going back to bed or leaving this house with those memories. I'm taking them from you, one way or another.
I glared, standing my ground. You're not taking my memories. I'm not letting you take them.
And what do you plan to do with them, huh? Tell the press? Gossip to your friends that demons exist? Confess to your parents that you had demon servants and were almost killed by a devil gang?
Now she was making me mad. Did she seriously think I was this stupid? These memories were precious to me, and I wasn't going to let her win over my mind. These memories are important to me. I know that other creatures exist. I know that magic exists. I'm more open-minded now.
Open-minded or gullible?
What did she mean by that? The point of being open-minded was to be open to all thoughts. How was it anything close to being gullible?
There is nothing to learn from remembering the boys that won't bring trouble. I'm merely saving you from that. There are more than just demons who want to keep their existence a secret. There are many creatures in this world that don't want to be known of. And you remembering a small fragment is not acceptable to them without good reason.
Diana smirked.
If you would have kept the boys, or at least had one of them around, they'd be a little more lenient to listen to your pleas. However, you're about to go into tomorrow without any of them around.
This is just... I couldn't believe my ears. There were more than just demons, other fictional characters existed. There was a system? What? Diana sighed and snapped her fingers, lifting my body up from the ground with her magic.
Look, I can kill you and no longer waste what little time I have, or I can erase your memories and go on with my life. I have more important things to do above arguing with you.
I looked onto the ground to see something made my very nerve of my body quickly shake in fear. On the ground was a large open mouth with sharp white teeth leading to an empty black abyss. I could feel the heat from the mouth breathing pant against my floating body. Ah! I looked at Diana, who was looking at me with stern, almost heartless glaze.
Make a choice, sweetie. Give up your memories, or be a demon's snack. I warn you, he's quite the biter.
I was panicked. I was about to die. Again, the boys weren't here to protect me. What was I going to do? Oh, jeez. There's 3 choices. Oh. I don't like any of these choices. It's gonna be like the one time I think. I wasn't going to let her win. I knew I could fight her. I began to put on hold on me roughly. My mind was fighting, but my body wasn't responding. Pull on the hold on me. That sentence made no sense.
You still wish to fight?
Diana rubbed her temples before walking to me.
I've had enough of this.
All of a sudden, Diana grabbed my head, making my mind blank out. I felt large waves of energy zip from my body and my mind at her touch, but it intensified as Diana placed her lips on mine. I didn't kiss back. I didn't fight. I couldn't do anything. I could only stare as she drained my body of energy. My body began to go limp, and my mind grew insanely heavy. If I wasn't floating, I would truly be in the ground, passed out. How was she able to pull this much energy without doing more than kiss me? I would never know. Soon my whole body felt numb, and I felt like an empty spirit floating in midair. Diana slightly frowned at the sight.
Such a waste.
Diana ran over my hair, twirling to straight around her finger. Twirling a strand around her finger. Ugh.
So long, sweetie.
Before I knew it, I was falling. She had let me go. I could only close my eyes. I didn't even feel a thing. So long, sweetie. Oh. What? What? So, okay, that... I died? Oh, jeez. Okay, that's odd. Okay, let's continue on. That was only 13 minutes in. Let's... 1 second here. Okay, so we're back. Hey, there we go. Kind of sped through time. Magic. Okay, back where we were. I died, so that did not work. Let's try you. Then I remember, demons have consciousness. They weren't heartless without a reason. She could be reasoned with. She seemed like a businesswoman. Wait!
What? You're wasting my time.
What about a deal, huh? Diana raised her eyebrow. I was afraid she wasn't one to listen. What if she was as ruthless as I imagined her to be?
I'm listening.
Wait, really? Was she really willing to listen to me? She didn't drop in me the pit of it, but she didn't let me out of her spell. Now is a good time as I need to try and reason. These memories are precious to me, but they're not worth me losing my life.
Of course.
I mean, if I die, people would wonder why and try to find explanations to why I died or wherever I disappeared to.
Then just hand over your memories.
What if I traded to you then said, you seem like a reasonable business person. A trade is better than forcing me to give it in, right? This was insane. I didn't even know if she was willing to listen. She already had me hanging over a pit of death. The only thing I could do was hope for was her being forgiving enough to listen to a reason.
Well, speak your terms. What do you want in exchange?
My little revealed side, she was willing to listen further. Well, what can you give me in return for them?
I'm a demon. I can give you anything within reason. Money, men, women, power. Name it. Just make it worth the price.
Oh, jeez. She could really give me anything? My mind began to wander. What did I want? I don't like any of it. I heard Diana stifle a laugh.
Me? Are you serious? What do you mean,
Oh,
me?
jeez. I don't know. I just clicked on it. I didn't like any of them. I looked at Diana again. She was indeed scary, but she was gorgeous, and somehow she interested. Oh, jeez. I picked a bad option. Why? Why did I pick this option? More so than the boys. Oh, jeez. You mean you staring at me for a little while? I want to get to know you and these rules you're talking about.
A human wanting to know more about a demon and the rules. You're really trying to step over your place, especially if you'll be losing those memories in the end.
I'm serious. I'll give you my memories and energy if you stay put for a couple of days. A day, even. It'll be worth it.
Completely willingly?
Oh, jeez. What option did I... Completely willingly.
And if you don't fulfill your end of the bargain?
Then you can feed me to your pet beast. Did that really slip out of my mouth? Was I really wanting to put my life back in the line again? What if it meant keeping my memories a little longer? Then yes. Diana looked at me, scanned the body with her eyes for any signs of false intent. I didn't have any, so Diana sighed and snapped her fingers again. The demon below me vanished, and I was slowly lowered to the ground. I looked to Diana in surprise. Oh my god.
You are very lucky. Demon magic is so finicky.
Gosh, what did I have? What do you mean?
Why do you think demons make deals with humans like you?
I wasn't sure. Demons were still new to me. I heard stories of people making deals with demons, only ruin coming from them. Diana sighed.
It's one thing to take your memories or your energy. It's another for you to willingly give it. We get more for our effort if the one we make a deal with is willing. Think of it like sex. If I'm aroused and you're willing to open your legs for me, I'll get pleasure. I'll enjoy it. You might enjoy it. And it's done. But if you aren't willing and I force myself on you anyway, it's not so pleasurable for me. Even if I get what I want, it won't be as worth the effort.
Strangely, that made sense. It was very much like a business. If I had what they want, then they could negotiate for it. If they could take it away from it anyways, but without a fight, were they all really business oriented? My curiosity about demons grew as I realized what deal I had made. So you'll stay for a couple days?
A day is enough.
Yeah, sure, fine.
Yeah, sure, fine.
Yes.
Yes.
Diana looked at me up and down once again. I felt a little naked all of a sudden under her gaze, but I ignored it as she shrugged.
All right.
Diana kept her eyes on me, unsure what was going on from the look on her face.
So, what do you want to know? You're obviously curious about demons enough to make a deal with me.
My first thought shot to her, but then I remembered the boys. Not all of my questions were answered, and I wanted to know everything. First of all, who exactly are you? Diana chuckled before crossing her arms.
You may refer to me as simply Diana. As I said before, I'm a succubus, and I intend to bring the boys back home.
Back home? What do you mean, back to the demon world?
Precisely. They don't belong here, and it's imperative that they return.
Why?
Did they not tell you? They're runaway royals.
Huh? Couldn't believe my ears. What? They were royalty? Why would they run away from royalty? Diana simply smirked at a new surprise on my face.
Ah, so they didn't tell you. How unfortunate. You were in the presence of a demon prince and his noble brothers and you didn't even know.
What? Okay, this has definitely gone from crazy to crazy. I feel myself unconsciously walk over and sit on my bed. They hid something gigantic from me? Why? Did they not trust me? Then again, it had only been a couple of days, yet they helped me and were here for me regardless, acting like servants instead of noblemen. I grip my head in frustration. What am I supposed to believe?
Believe whatever you wish. The confusion will fade away soon enough, regardless.
I looked at Diana, who only gave me an almost somber look in return. She was serious about removing my memories, but she would keep her end of the deal until I learned all I could. Then, that end, I felt thrilled to have her. Maybe it was because she was a succubus. I don't know. What is this garbage? I sighed and faced Diana. How did you get to the human world? How did the boys get here?
With the help of a human, in both of our cases. There's truly no need for details beyond that. Any human can cast a demon's summoning spell. It's just a matter of what happens during the summoning and after where things get tricky.
Tricky? What do you mean, tricky?
Well, if a human is willing, only part of their life force is taken from them, and they are given one chance to open a bridge between our worlds to allow the demon they desire to come through. The more demons come through, the more life force the spell takes. Luckily for the poor human that brought them here, the boys sacrificed some of their own powers to open the bridge instead of letting the spell feed solely on the human. The human lived, and the boys came through.
That almost made sense. Something in my mind clicked. But I couldn't be I could not clear it out to figure out what it was. I only nodded at Diana. And you were the same?
Somewhat. However, I don't care to go into details about how I came here. You'll forget soon enough.
That's not part of the deal.
You wish to have me around for more information. I get to decide what information to give.
Cheater.
It's not cheating if it's not a broken rule.
I huffed and crossed my arms and legs. Diana was a game player and I didn't like her rules. However, they were the rules I had to accept in order to keep my memories a little while longer. I did find a way to remember she wasn't going to win. Diana let out a small chuckle and ran her hand through her hair.
Well, I believe I should head to bed. If I'm to stay here, then I need some form of sleep.
I watched as Diana crossed through my room to the door and opened it. She turned to me with a small wink.
Have a good night. See you in the morning.
Before I could respond, she exited the room and closed the door behind me. I stared. It was like she was in control. I almost gritted my teeth at that thought. She wasn't the master of the house. I was. I huffed and crawled back under the covers. How did my life get so complicated? What was going on with me? I must have had serious bad luck. I sighed and covered myself with the blankets, wanting tonight to end. I needed tomorrow to come. School would take my mind off of things. If school actually happened, anyways. I woke the morning minutes before my alarm. I felt strangely groggy, but I didn't exactly feel bad. It was more of a physical exhaustion with the mind ready to take on the day. I stretched and quickly changed into my clothes before heading downstairs with my bag. As I reached the lobby, I stopped and snuffled. All of a sudden, a new smell in the air. Breakfast? I continued my way to the dining room to see Diana lay out a plate of covered recycling. On the table were delicious-smelling eggs, toast, bacon, ham, veggies, juice, and I felt my mouth salivate. But then I remembered that it was Diana serving breakfast, and I shook my head. What are you doing?
Ah, you're up. Come. Breakfast. I didn't know what you liked, so I made everything I knew humans ate for this time of day.
The second time I walked over and scanned the table before giggling. Diana raised an eyebrow at me.
And what is so funny?
You didn't make everything breakfast related. You forgot a couple of things.
Like what?
Coffee, pancakes, waffles? Dana looked almost insulted before looking to the table and recounting the plates. I laughed harder, making her face glare at me.
I haven't been in the human world long enough to know everything, alright? Unlike the boys, I know little to nothing about what you humans eat in your homes.
At the mention of the boys, I suddenly remembered them. They treated me like part of their family, caring for me and making sure I was okay beyond anything else. They were servants to me, and I let them go. I let out a sigh at the memory. Little did I know that Dinah was staring at me the entire time. I shook my head and looked at the table, getting an empty plate and filling it with things I wanted before sitting and eating. Dinah remained standing, watching me. I felt almost naked under her gaze, so I looked over, pausing my eating. Aren't you gonna eat?
I already ate.
Oh, okay. What did you eat?
You really wish to know?
Sure. Yes. I wanted to know more about demons. I wanted to know more about her. Of course I said yes. Diana stared in surprise at me before smirking a bit and reaching into her cleavage. I watched as she pulled out a small purple vial. She popped the cork and poured a mere couple sipfuls into her palm before recorking the vial and putting it back in her dress. Diana closed her eyes and closed her hand. What was she doing? This was odd to watch, yet the same. I was practically on the edge of my seat in curiosity. What was she doing? Her hand started to open. It was almost like a blossoming flower, revealing a small peach-sized fruit. It was purple and had nothing, almost an enchanting smell to it that made my food seem almost disgusting. Man, sorry guys, my nose is just going on crazy.
A plant from the abyssal plains. We call it a sweet flower. Would you like to try it?
Is it gonna kill me? I can't get killed again. Let's just yes. I nodded and stared at the fruit. It looked absolutely gorgeous and delectable. I couldn't resist grabbing one on chance to try it. Diana nodded before cupping the fruit in both hands and pulling the purple flesh from the fruit, revealing a juicy blackish center, as if it was cut from inside. Diana pulled out a perfect slice and handed it to me.
I must say, you may be the first human to try this fruit. You should consider yourself lucky.
I am lucky. I nodded, not pulling my eyes away from the fruit slice in my hand. It was juicy, and its clear juice painted over my fingers. I somehow didn't care. I wanted to try it and savor it. I felt the small slice touch my lips and took a small bite, feeling ecstasy run through my mouth. I almost couldn't fight back the moan that was erupting from my throat. What is this? It was sweet, yet slightly tasty. It was a perfect combination. At the same time, it felt so unnatural. I felt not only a pleasure in my mouth, but my body began to feel energized and warm. Oh my god. And it was all from a small bite. I swallowed the bite full and let out a pleasure sigh, making Nana smirk slightly at me with a raised eyebrow. I couldn't lie to her about how it tasted. It was delicious.
That it is. They're natively grown in my kingdom, so I have the pleasure of enjoying these every day.
You have a kingdom?
I do. The boys are not the only royals in the demon world, sweetie. I just so happen to be a princess.
Princess? Is my princess in another castle? I just made a Mario reference. BAM! I stared in surprise. She was really a princess? How? She looked so mature. She was more of a queen than a princess. Really? You're a princess? You seem more like a queen. For a split second, I swore I saw Diana blush, but as she started to laugh, I shook my head at the thought.
You flatter me, little girl. You best be careful. I may just take your flattery as an invitation to take your energy.
I shut my mouth, feeling a blush run across my own cheeks. I returned to eating the fruit, hearing her chuckles and eating the remainder of fruit on her own. Surprisingly, I felt full just from the small slice. How could that be? The only explanation I had is that it was demon fruit, so I mentally accepted it as just that. What I didn't expect was Diana leaning over me and lifting my chin, looking down at me.
Messy, aren't you?
I stared as Diana came closer and gently kissed my cheek by the corner of my lips, making me gasp slightly. What was she doing? Why was she kissing my cheek? I was red in the face already, and she was taking advantage. Oh my god. Diana pulled away, slightly licked, and popped her lips. What?
You had a little juice on the side of your lip. It was bothering me.
It was I'm gonna be broken after this game. I don't know what to think anymore. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this is so bizarre. Oh my god. What am I playing? What is this? Is just getting this is getting worse every day, guys. Every day this gets worse. I ran my fingers over where she kissed me, and it felt like my red face grew even hotter. Diana chuckled slightly at the sight, making me almost glare at her. I didn't know if she was flirting with me or trying to embarrass me. Either way, she was winning. Eventually, my alarm started to go off, reminding me to get ready for Naomi and Suzu. Right, school was a thing. I stood from my chair and grabbed my bag, walking out of the dining room.
And where are you going, might I ask?
I have to go to school. I have to go to school.
Ah, I see.
Why does the music keep changing randomly in the game? Like, I looked up at Diana, feeling that she was up to something. She had her arms crossed, looking at me as if I owed her something. What?
Well, I don't exactly want you to leave this house with the memories you have. I'd be breaking the rules if I allowed that.
But we had a deal. You stay for a day, I keep my memories until you leave. I still have school to go to, though.
Then skip school and stay home.
What?
That, or I go with you.
What? What? Dad was crazy. To suggest going to my school was practically signing a death wish. Everybody would ask about her. What would I tell everyone? That's crazy.
I can't let you leave this house with those memories unless I'm with you. Rules are rules.
What rules?
The rules of the world, sweetie.
Of the worlds? You see the S there? That's worlds. Rules of the worlds? What was she talking about?
The rules applies to any magical being that lives in the human world. They were established on a day you humans might know as the birth date of Jesus Christ.
Huh? 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 What? What does it mean Christianity is legitimate?
It's a story to some, a religious faith to others. I won't deny or prove a religion exists because that's a human matter. Magical beings, on the other hand, don't pay attention unless they're angels from the world of heaven.
My curiosity was piqued, my mind like a frantic bird. I wanted to know more. Diana was giving me answers and I wanted to ask more questions. However, I had to go to school. I was conflicted.
Stay, and I'll tell you more of these rules.
And if I go?
Then I take your memories. Now.
I was trapped. There was no way I could bring Diana with me without some repercussion. If she took my memories now, then I'd go to school without remembering anything. However, if I stayed, I could learn more, but I'd miss school. I'll stay. I bit my lip. Did I really want to stay? I could feel my fingers running over my phone to call Naomi. Without even listening to the phone, I spoke into it. Hey girls, I'm feeling really sick. Don't worry about coming. Don't come over. I'm staying home and getting better. I hung up without even acknowledgement from Naomi or Suzu on the other end. Diana crossed her arms and waited for me to turn to her fully. I threw my bag aside and looked at Diana to learn more. You're going to tell me everything.
I'll do the best I can.
Diana walked up the stairs. I walked upstairs with Diana in my hand. I glanced into the dining room to see it already clean. I guess Diana used magic to clean up after us. I continued and wound up walking in my bedroom. I sat at the bed as Diana stood by the balcony window. It was just like last night. So, can I ask anything and you'll answer, right?
I'll give you the best answers I can give.
Knowing Diana, it could have been a white lie. She had already hidden some details, but I guess she had her reasons. However, I would need more than just details. The rules of the world, what are they?
They are the heart and soul of the human world, created and approved by all 5 worlds on the human date, December 25th.
5 worlds?
In human terms, there is the human world, heaven, purgatory, hell, and the abyss.
What are the rules in this agreement?
These rules dictate the behavior of otherworldly creatures in the human world. Without them, there would be constant war between angels and devils, while the vampires would try and enslave humanity. Demons are merely the watchers, but often the devils or vampires will try and coax them into joining them.
So angels and vampires exist too?
Yes, angels are from heaven, watching over the human world with a careful eye. Vampires are from the human world, but pass on to purgatory before rebirth.
Good, okay. I stared at my lap. This was all amazing. Yet this wasn't satisfying my curiosity. What did I want to know more? Did I want to know just about demons? This was all a huge deal, and I felt both over and underwhelmed. So these rules have rules. So the rules have rules over humans. Humans can't know about magic at all?
Correct. Humans, to the angels, need to remain pure and innocent. So they dictated that humans cannot know of the other worlds or of other beings. The rest of us agreed. Only a select few are allowed to know the truth about us.
Okie dokie. But that's hardly fair, isn't it?
Well, take a look at yourself. You're barely proficient with magic. Your kind is too focused on who will fight the next war or who will screw the next person. I'm sorry to admit this, but humans are the weakest race in the planes of existence. The only ones who truly protect you are angels.
I felt angry that she made humans sound inferior, yet we had our faults. But it wasn't like any of the other races were better, right? There was no way humans were the inferior race. We're not inferior.
Oh, you're not now? Really?
Diana stared at me, looking up and down before smirking a bit.
Let's go on a little trip, shall we?
I raised my eyebrow. What was she on about? First she wanted me to stay here, now she wanted me to go out. What's with this girl? Before I could protest, the world began to spin around me, forcing me to jump up and grab on Diana. She held me as the room spun practically out of control. My fear escalated and I buried my face in her shoulder, wanting to stop. As if she was trying to prove a scary point, it was working. I felt the world slow down around me and soon came to a halt. I didn't want to look, but gently Diana pushed me away from her body to look around. I gasped when I realized that I was in a business office. What? What's going on? Where are we?
Just a simple business office. Nothing more.
I looked around and felt familiar air in the room. I couldn't figure out why, but my brain kept me aware that I knew this place somehow. I didn't get to think about it long. Suddenly a group of businessmen entered the room, stopping at the sight of Diana and me.
Who are you two?
I froze. What was going to happen? We were going to get thrown out, get in trouble. I would never be allowed out again. It was a mid-nightmare. Diana giggled and stopped my thoughts. I looked up to see her smirking at the group of men, and a hand by her lips.
Why, do you not know who we are? For shame, for shame.
Diana guided me to a chair and sat me down before sitting on the table. I practically turned red as Diana herked her dress where her entire leg slipped out of the slit. She crossed her legs and tossed her hair gently.
We are your employers. This lovely lady is the CEO of the company, and I am her personal secretary. You men, however, are late.
And stared at Diana. She stared down the group of men like a tigress would her prey. The group collectively began to shuffle and nervous, surprising me. Were they really believing her lie? How? Diana smiled and lifted her legs slightly, making men lean in for a possible shot. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I couldn't help but feel both stunned and slightly jealous.
One of you needs to come over here and kiss my foot as an apology.
What? What? I looked at Diana's foot, seeing it gently bob with a slight impatience. She was seriously going to make one of them kiss her foot? They obviously couldn't be that enthralled with her enough to stoop that low, so low. I let my I let my thoughts get destroyed as I watched a man step out from the group nervously and get on his knees in front of Diana. He gently cradled her foot on his hands. I tensed and held my breath. No way! The man gently kissed over Diana's foot, making almost squirrely sight escape her lips and sent a shiver down my spine. Diana smirked and leaned back on her hands, looking down at the man before her.
My ankle next.
No. Like an obedient servant, the man-child kissed her ankles and let her head fall back with another sigh. Dana, what are you doing?
Proving to you how weak the human mind is.
Dana raised her hand above her, snapped her fingers, causing the group of ogling men that remained to straighten up like an army at attention. I felt myself tense and catch my breath in response. I couldn't feel any power over me.
Water, a massage, another kiss.
With each command, a man would separate from the group and fill into me. I watched as each man began particularly to slave to her whim. They had closed their eyes and let the pleasure out of a hum, making my spine tinkle again. What is this garbage? For some reason, it irritated me beyond belief. I watched as the pampered and enthralled men made something crawl in my chest, something dark. I wanted it to stop. I don't want to do either of these choices. There we go. Don't do anything. I sat in silence, waiting for her to be done. She'd be bored eventually. Then again, she was a succubus, so who knew when she'd get bored of attention? At a snap of Diana's, the boys huddled together back where they were. Diana then turned her head and smiled to me.
See? Easy to manipulate.
So what? They're guys obeying a hot chick.
Oh, trust me. Women are just as weak-minded as men. Just because I'm a woman doesn't mean I can't attract the same sex.
Let's just go home. Diana sighed and rolled her shoulders.
Fine, fine.
With a snap of Diana's fingers, the room around us began to fade to black. A mere breath later, we were back in my bedroom with both of us in my bed. Diana stretched her arms up and smiled at me.
So, now do you understand the vulnerability of humanity?
I grinched my teeth. Humans weren't as weak as she claimed. I couldn't believe it. Just because we were weak didn't mean we couldn't know about those who were supposedly more powerful than us. I glared at Diana. That justifies ignorance? How does this justify ignorance?
Ignorance is the only safety humans get to have. If humans were to know about us, do you know what kind of chaos would occur?
For once, I felt scared. Diana's words were cold as ice and stared at me and myself, practically giving me a frightening feeling of the future. I questioned.
There are already wars in the human world being fought amongst yourselves. Equality, dominance, power. The human world is practically the image of self-chaos. Innocent blood is spilled every day in your world. Doesn't matter the color or creed you carry. You think blood is spilt now? There will be much more if humans knew about otherworldly creatures. Our existences can destroy beliefs and human logic.
I felt the world around me go dark as I stared at Diana. Sounds of screaming and battle raged around me, but I kept my eyes on the one person I could see. Was this an illusion? Was this a trick? It didn't feel like it.
Religions would crumble and civil wars would clash. Paranoia would be a constant in every human mind. And soon armies will rise up, trying to defend humanity without true knowledge of who we are and what we can do. Vampires would be forced to retaliate and build armies of their own, and trust me, they're not as friendly as the vampires in your human fictional drabble. Devils would have a heyday and wreak havoc, finally finding a collective weakness in the human world to exploit. Angels would have to come down and fight their devil rivals, and the human world would become their battlefield.
I could see the world Diana described flashing before my eyes. I could see humans screaming and fighting each other, trying to figure out who is what, and being frightful with every blink. I imagined devils like Malix ravaging cities and killing people, while soldiers tried to fight back, falling and dying at every turn. The image was scary, and I did not want to imagine it. I shook my head, holding it in both hands. Before looking down, my room had returned, and Diana stared back at me. To my surprise, she had a concerned face.
The rules are to make sure that we all stay at peace. To have us all fighting at once would result in a massive cataclysm that would engulf everything and everyone, no matter what you were.
Diana finally broke away from the gaze she held on me and stared in the far wall. I could see a look of fear rush through her eyes as she looked away from me. I almost felt sorry, but my confusion covered my concern.
Demons already have enough on our collective plates. We don't need to become the backlash victims of broken ignorance.
Diana. Something in Diana's eyes made my heart almost hurt. Even though she wasn't looking at me, she could almost see all of the emotions that ran in her mind just observing her eyes. I felt bad, terrible even, for questioning her as I did. I was only human after all. However, I felt a need to comfort. Something was going on and Diana was holding it back. Whether or not I learned more by comforting her almost didn't matter. Yeah. If I felt myself gently scooting to Diana before laying my hand on hers. Diana stared at me for a brief moment before shaking her head frankly and shutting her eyes tightly. A soft sigh escaped her lips before she looked again at me with almost a new resolve.
I'm fine. I was merely trying to prove my points.
That day became filled with Diana teaching me about magic. Even when the day ended, I needed to learn more. I began to crave it. Okay, I'm gonna stop here because this is just crazy. The guys are gone. No, a little recap. The guys are gone. This new chick's here. Jeez. The princesses and princes. This game just keeps getting weird, guys. Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, not gonna happen. So I'll see you guys for Let's Play again. And just want to say bye.